It's a beautiful Tuesday morning in the city of Lagos, Southwest Nigeria. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki, and this morning I'll be reviewing the front pages of the dailies, starting with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with POS, anger, frustration over high cost of cash withdrawals as operators gradually take over banks' ATM function. Customers relate sad experiences in states. Banks sell cash to us. That's according to Delta POS operator. You can see that on page 5. And here there's a picture showing the company secretary, Mr. Billy, as a director, Mr. Alex Aluze, group head marketing and corporate communication, Mrs. Alero Ladipo. Group Managing Director CEO, Mr. Oliver, Group Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Muyiwa Akinyemi, and Executive Director, Mr. Ugo, at the Global Press Conference to herald the year-long celebration of UBA at 75 in Lagos yesterday. Now, on page 20, ICANN Accountability Index will enhance management of public funds, that's according to Kwaso. Tinubu UN AU Arab leaders mourn as Iranian President dies in helicopter crash. On page 30, Sport, Manchester United want Osimhen. On page 8, federal government partners financial bodies to lift 50 million Nigerians out of poverty from now to 2027. Stories above the banner on page 19. DMO raises 4.9 trillion naira for ways and means. On page 12, de-escalate tensions in Rivers. Jonathan appeals to Wike and Fubara. EFCC under fire as Oba of Benin alleges a bribery cover-ups. Lastly, on Vanguard newspaper, electricity minimum wage NLC TUC mobilized for strike, and you can see that on page 9. Now, the Punch newspaper, Punch is leading with student loan, 1.2 million beneficiaries listed as scheme begins. 206 institutions benefit. Admission letter, NIN VN needed. You can see that on page 2. And here there are 3 pictures. The writer says world leaders mourn as Iran probes president and minister's death. You can see that on page 5. Lagos seals 840 event centers. That's according to commissioner. You can see that on page 6. Tariff hike, workers lockout minister issue 14-day ultimatum. Above the banner, Wike Fubara face-off can destabilize Niger debt. That's according to Jonathan. Judges' salaries reviewed 17 years ago, says Attorney General of Federation. And lastly, on the Punch newspaper, food import eats 3 trillion naira over flooding and insecurity. That's according to CBN. And now the Guardian is leading with school feeding of 10 million kids. Federal government in dilemma as inflation spikes meal budget to 540 billion naira. Federal government has reached 75% of domestic borrowing target for 2024, says a DMO. You can see that on business, page 15. And on the page 30, Kwara repatriates beggars allegedly keeping arms for criminals. And here there's a picture showing that the prices of things are now of how what things were before, and the prices compared to now. Pepper as at 2023 was 5,500, and now it's at 22,000. White spaghetti was 17,000, now 28,000. Tomatoes 56,000, now 58,000. And even noodles that was 6,000 is now 10,000 naira. But of course, you can get more duties inside the Guardian newspaper. Labour threatens strike, issues May 31 of for minimum workers issue 2-week ultimatums on the TCN on bundling tariff hike. Kano government is 306 million PTA as Naira weekend. You can see that on page 30. And lastly, at the Nation newspaper, federal government releases conditions as student loan scheme begins. Youth in federal institutions get first opportunity. Portal opens Friday. Labour returns for minimum wage talk. You can see that on page 4. Iran holds memorial for president.